What is happening, y'all?
Oh, it didn't do the intro like it normally does.
Yeah, I know. I kind of screwed the pooch on that one. We're just going
Oh, okay.
live. Screw it. We're doing live.
We're going right into this. No spit, no lube, no nothing. Just off we go.
Yeah.
What is up, you beautiful people? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know it's been forever in a damn day,
Forever ago.
as the guys from what was that movie? Sandlot. Forever. Forever.
Forever.
What was his name? Squints. Yeah, Squints. Good stuff.
Mhm.
If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. If you're coming back to see us after our much, way too long absence, hi, welcome back. Hope you missed us. This is the Battle Bros podcast with Mac and Alamo. I'm Mac. This handsome dude over here on this side of me is Alamo.
Hello there.
Greetings and salutations. So,
Indeed.
yeah, we're going to get right into this. So, let's kind of get talking about a couple of things. So, um, cuddle up, get comfy, and we're going to have a little conversation here for a minute. So, the reason why, and we teased this a little bit in the trailer we put out on Facebook and stuff. So, the reason why we've been gone for so long is we had kind of some unexpected things happen. We did our last podcast in May or April of last year. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would say it was. Yeah, it was May. May for sure.
It was May because then we did the event with your wife over
Battle
at New Smyrna Beach.
buddies.
Yeah, we did Battle Buddies. So we did all that going on. Had every intention of taking the summer off, and we did about that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
What
we
we
kind of
didn't
had some
expect.
stuff come up. So last year my mom ended up going through she got diagnosed with some cancer, which she got surgery for, and then it went through some chemo. So she's cancer free, thank heavens.
Ding that
Uh,
bell. Ding 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 ding.
Pretty much, yeah. So
Hell yeah.
we had that going on,
Love you,
and
mama.
then right after, thanks, buddy, I appreciate it. I'll tell her you said that. Right after all that happened, right at the beginning of summer in June, my mom had a car accident. Again, she was fine. My daughter was in the car with her. She was fine, but just totaled the car. So, in addition to that, during all this time, my older brother had a couple of health concerns going on. Went in to see the cardiologist. Ended up finding out that he had a lot of fluid on his heart. Went back 2 weeks later for a follow up, and it was much worse. They said go to the hospital. We called ahead. Go straight to the ER. We were already there waiting for you. All that stuff. She's in the hospital. And while I was there, I ended up having a heart attack. So they ended up draining like a liter of fluid out of the pericardium around his heart, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So that happened. He was in the hospital for about 8 weeks because they have to do this certain procedure where they cool your body down, and everything after you have a heart attack to kind of prevent the brain damage, from solidifying and like being a lot worse than it is and whatnot. So he came home. Well, he ended up going back into the hospital after being home for 2 months. He had another heart attack, went into the hospital, and unfortunately, he never came out of the hospital. So my older brother um, passed away on the 30th of September of last year. So that was the predominant reason why we haven't been on here in a while. The other thing too is just my computer is was old as crap, so we needed to kind of upgrade that. And once the new year rolled around, I was
Mhm.
financially, I kind of had some burdens come up off of me and whatnot, so which was good. I could replace the computer, so that's why we're back here now. But
And
I can
comparatively as well, my computer ended up getting fried in a lightning storm. So I ended up having to replace
which
mine.
which actually happened when we were on one of our shows, funny enough. So not funny enough, but strangely enough. But
Yeah.
yeah, so there is that. All that kind of stuff happened. But here we are. We're back. We're not going anywhere. we just took a much longer than anticipated sabbatical, forced vacation, if you will. So yeah, we're back. Let's get right into it, and let's get back to this as best as we can. So
Let's hit it.
if you caught any of our previous episodes before that, let me just say, if you have the opportunity, make sure you go to our channel on YouTube. It's Battle Horse Podcast channel on YouTube. You can get the notification bell whenever we go live on Friday nights. We usually do our podcast that way. Sometimes we've had to record them previously and just broadcast them on a Friday night. We like to go live at 9 if we can, just kind of keep the thing flowing and going as much as possible. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. If all the social media websites or social media sites that we have, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button on those so you can kind of keep up with the channel, what's going on, keeping us, all the latest and greatest, all that good stuff. Bear with us because we're both probably going to have a little bit of jitters because we're like, I kind of don't remember how to do this. It's been so long. I'm like, so, but we're going to get through it. So,
In a hot minute, y'all.
it's been a hot darn minute. Yeah. Oh, by the way, we can no longer. We have to curb one thing. So I got notified last night during our Zoom call that
Powwow.
our little bi-weekly powwow that YouTube has restricted from saying the 4-letter foxtrot word, so that will no longer be there. But don't worry, we're still going to be the same salty people that we can. Like,
Yeah.
should I say something? Should I not? Like, it's so awkward. I'm like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, they've changed a few things, so we got to be a little bit.
We got to adapt. We got to adapt, but it's all good. We're still going to be the same guys, and we're just going to play by the rules for the most part. So, but anyway, so if you caught our last episode of third season, we did a topic of identity and how that relates to you as an individual. When you're in the military, getting out of the military, going. That was inspired by our conversation with Kyle, who we had on. I think it was episode 56. If you haven't seen that, go back and watch it. Great interview. Probably one of my favorite, if not the favorite show we've done so far. Just a fantastic, like two completely different interviews, just seamlessly rolled right into one another, all that good stuff. Hey, there's War Daddy Withers on the comments. Hi, what's going on there, big guy? Glad to see you, man.
What up?
So yeah, we talked about identity. That was when we took our break. So quite a few things have happened. Before we get into our topic and explain what the topic's about tonight, I just want to kind of go over some of the news stories that we've had since we've been gone. So I'm not saying I can predict your lotto numbers, but I did make a prediction, and I'll be damned if it didn't come true. We now
Did you have a Simpsons moment?
I don't know if I had a Simpsons moment, but we definitely had a slightly what do you call it? Like kind of looking into the future a little bit. We had our first member of the Space Force graduate Ranger School. So there's now officially a Space Ranger, which is amazing. Gentleman by the name of Captain Daniel Reynolds. He earned his Ranger tab on, I believe, October 13th. Had his tab pinned by his dad, who is an Army Colonel, John Reynolds. But this guy's kind of awesome. I mean, for being, and I'm not saying anything bad about ring knockers. If you don't know what that means, those are guys that go through the service academies, the Air Force Academy, space. If you go through the Air Force Academy, Space Force program in Colorado Springs, West Point, Annapolis, all the whole shebang, all that kind of stuff. Not saying anything bad about ring knockers, but there are some misconceptions and preconceived notions about ring knockers. We're gonna leave that alone, but. This particular gentleman graduated from the Air Force Academy, I believe, in 2017. He graduated from the Air Force Academy in 2017 with a degree in astronautical engineering. He also then attended MIT, where he earned a master's degree in aeronautics and astronautics while completing a fellowship with NASA. Transferred from the Air Force to Space Force in 2021 and has since gone on to earn his airborne wings, air assault badge, a sapper tab, and now a ranger tab. So this guy is like
Nice.
pretty legit. I mean, it's like, okay, that's dope. Like, good for you, sir. Like, keep on
I think
keeping
he
on,
wants
man.
to. I think he wants to take on asteroids like Bruce Willis in Armageddon.
We need to get this guy's name changed to Lightyear. All right, Lightyear, Captain Lightyear, Space Ranger. So,
Right.
congratulations, Captain Reynolds, for being a trendsetter. First Space Force Guardian to earn a Ranger tab. Good stuff. What else happened? Oh, yeah. So, we have the Army graduated its first active duty female soldier from sniper school. Sergeant Maciel Hay, who's a Cav Scout with the 173rd Airborne Brigade out of Europe, which I believe is in Italy, graduated through that program and whatnot. So that's a big deal. Pretty cool. And in addition to that, there was another story about how crap. Let me go back to my notes. I clicked the wrong thing. Oh, so there's been a yeah, Buzz Lightyear, absolutely. So the Marines are kind of undergoing a little bit of a change. They're going through this big plan called Force Concept 2030, where they're changing like the overall structure. They've actually in the last couple of years gotten rid of all of their tank battalions. There's a report that a lot of the guys that were in the Marine Corps did an inter-service transfer from the Marines to the Army, so they can continue working with the Abrams platforms and all that kind of stuff. So that was a big deal. But as a part of this, they have the last 8 dudes graduated in December from Scout Sniper School. They're no longer going to be called Scout Snipers. It's now going to be called Reconnaissance Snipers as part of the overall reorganization of the Marine Corps as a whole. They're also relocating some of their bases out to the Asiatic Pacific Theater and all that stuff. Australia, Thailand, and that kind of area. You're going to say something, Macho. What's up?
No, I was just saying that's interesting. Yeah, you
Yeah.
kind of never would think that they would do something like that, considering
Well,
how.
so they're not. So basically, they're not having a scout sniper platoon involved with like an infantry battalion. It's now they're just going to be like in every squad. It's going to be like Force Recon. It's like the new. So the old MOS was 0317, which is a scout sniper. The new MOS is 0322, which is a reconnaissance sniper. So it kind of can be more easily intermixed into an infantry rifle battalion or infantry rifle company platoon, all that kind of stuff. So yeah,
Gotcha.
that's
Nice.
kind of the big thing they got going on. They're doing a lot of one of the big goals they're looking for is to make it just a lighter, more agile force, a little bit more technologically advanced, have some more tech involved with their standalone infantry platoons and whatnot. So it's a pretty cool idea. But yeah,
Yeah.
so those are some pretty
Seems
cool
to me like
stories
the
that we
Marine
saw.
Corps. Yeah. Seems to me like the Marine Corps is actually starting to get a lot more of the nicer toys before us now. Yeah, which is kind of interesting. But I mean, it's all good.
Well, especially, I mean, if you look at what other countries call the Marines, it's naval infantry. So, they have to go pretty much, where they're talking about, in the
You
Withers.
saw him.
Love it.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway,
Mhm.
I don't know why I just picture Sergeant Major Plumley when he's talking about the custard comment. Don't no.
Yeah,
Let's not
I
chance it.
want to.
Play good.
I want
No,
to,
but
but it's
yeah,
so
I mean, they
hard.
are getting some pretty high speed stuff. They actually have like
Heck
I think
yeah.
there's a new MOS where they have like drone operators as part of like an infantry squad, an infantry platoon or
Which
whatnot. They
makes
have like
sense,
drone.
especially
Yeah,
nowadays.
I mean, especially with like the drone you have, dude. That thing is so freaking. So we just said we can't. I don't know if we can say it, man, because of the fact that the language standards and stuff. So we can't say what we want to say. We're not gonna chance it. So
Yeah.
appreciate your input there, War Daddy. Thank you so much.
That's right.
So anyway, so yeah, I mean, they got some pretty cool stuff going on for sure. But I mean, those are some big stories like I talked about. There was a couple other ones, but I don't remember what they were.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the big three that we want to hit on. So, all right, let's kick this show off. So, we wanted to do something kind of fun. Yeah, you can say it in the comments. We can't say that on the air anymore. So it's like,
Yeah.
no more foxtrot word. Anyway, so the
Basically.
idea for this first show, we kind of want to do something fun. You know, it's been long overdue. We want to do something kind of interesting. So Alamo and I are both fans of the MCU, and there was a series that was on for those of you that know, and I think they have a second season now, I believe. Don't they, Alamo?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. They did a show that was animated called What If, and basically the idea behind the show is just like taking certain things and moving around. Like they had one where instead of it being Captain America, it was
Captain Carter.
Captain Carter, which was Agent
Mm-hmm.
Carter from the Captain America movie and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Will never be canceled. Nope, you can't cancel War Daddy. Nope, no sir. Not a negative Ghost Rider. War Daddy is on the hook. But anyway, yeah. So the whole show, what if, like they took different things and moved it around. Like, what if they had a whole show about zombies, which I was like, really? Okay, whatever. But they
Well,
had another one where
yeah,
like
it was in the
T'Challa
comics
was
too, though.
star. Yeah, but it's just it's overplayed. I'm sorry, folks that watch. I'm sorry, folks that watch. You know, the Walking Dead and all the whole universe, that kind of stuff. I'm just it's not for me. I get it.
I left it
Okay.
about season 3.
Yeah. So anyway, but they had another one where like T'Challa was Star Lord and Killmonger ended up taking over and doing some crazy stuff. So it's like some pretty cool ideas. So we kind of were talking about this one day and we were like, let's have some fun with that. So the whole idea for this episode is what if. So the premise is such, okay? Imagine you have been appointed to the position of Senior Enlisted Advisor of your respected branch or organization. So that could be the Battalion Command Sergeant Major, it could be the Chief Master Sergeant for an organization in the Air Force, or you could be the MECPON, the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, you could be a Sergeant Major of the Army, Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, Chief Master Sergeant of the Space Force, whatever. So usually whenever these guys kind of come in, or guys or ladies, oh, that's what he said hot about, Captain Carter. Hot. Sorry, folks. You really should be on here. You seem to have the great comments. It's just fantastic. But anyway, like squirrel right there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, when most of these guys come in, like most recently, one of the big examples of this was when Sergeant Major Daly came on board as Sergeant Major of the Army, which is great because he's an infantry guy, infantry background. He was one of the big proponents and champions for the Army going back to the new pinks and greens, which look amazing. Like they look good. All right. Very nostalgic of World War II, kind of bringing back that esprit de corps and that pride and your look and whatnot. And that was kind of like his big, vision. And that was like the thing that he pushed the most. So if you, yeah, right. MechPon Withers. There you go. Yeah, buddy. I'd pay good money to see that. As long as I get to be your LPO aide, I'm good with that. But anyway, so the idea that we had is, okay, so Alamo and I, hypothetically speaking, we just got appointed to the Sergeant Major of the Army. So what is going to be your legacy? What's going to be the thing that people remember for your time in that office, in that position? So we kind of came up with some things of what we would do in that. So I'm going to let Alamo go first. We each brought up a couple of different topics of things that we would want to see change and, improve or change for the better, that kind of thing. So Alamo, if you will, man, take it away. Whichever your 2 points you want to talk up first, man, go for it.
First things first, to improve combat readiness, physical standards, dude. Right now, I mean, I'm sure you got some studs in the military, but I know even back when we were in the military, there were some how do I phrase this nicely?
I'm gonna let you. Yeah, you can punch a hole in the boat here, pal.
Yeah. Either way, moving on. Um, my
to
issue is
be
that
fair, to be
to
fair, let
yeah,
me interject real quick.
yeah.
To be fair, a good friend of ours whose name rhymes with Ryan was happened to be on a military installation near where I live, and this particular person said, "Holy crap, there's
Mhm,
a lot of big-bodied people in the military nowadays." Like, whoa. So, yes, not trying
mhm.
to shame anybody. Listen,
Yeah,
that's not what we're about, okay? But we're just recognizing that
absolutely not.
this is a potential issue when it comes to combat readiness.
Correct.
So, Alamo, please continue. Take it away.
Correct. My thing is standards have been juked to the side. Standards have been, uh, let's just say, bent a little to accommodate people, as they say, from all backgrounds. Um, and that's not to
Can
say
I also enter into the discussion the adjectives skewed or warped?
skewed or warped. Correct. Um, I don't get down with that. My thing would be we're going to go back to the original physical standards. Um, and yes, body weight, we can play with a little bit only because, as a general rule, muscle weighs more than fat. So, in my personal opinion, if you're one of the people that's just a little bit heavier, but it's because maybe you're already one of those people that was previously working out before. You know what I mean? If we're going to be a combat ready fighting force, that's Army, Navy, it doesn't matter. We need people that, number one, can physically handle the load, that number two, have the stamina to continue fighting when the fight gets tough, right? We need to be able to reinvigor the PT standards, if you will. Um, I'm a stickler for it. I know I got a little out of shape myself. Working on that though, baby. Working on it. Um, it just it's you you have to be able to balance out your fighting force.
Right.
You know, there's nothing wrong. Like, say for example, you could have a PT stud has a little bit of chunk. You know what I mean? It's
So
okay.
can I jump in here real quick because
Hmm.
I actually watched something like this morning and I was like, oh, this is perfect. So I remember, yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah.
Uh, I remembered a while back you told me about the Unsubscribed podcast,
Hmm.
and it had those guys on there. So
Hilarious.
they had Eli Cuevas, they had a couple of different people. They had a couple of different guys that were like YouTubers that were like content creators and stuff. One
Yeah.
of the guys is the one who is the first sergeant. Um, for a unit in an SVAB, which is the Security Forces Assistance Brigade.
Hmm.
He's the one that like goes on there. He's like, talk about my face camo today. And he's like touching the microphone, like does like the ASMR type stuff.
Oh, the ASMR stuff.
So
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
they
I've
were
seen it.
those. They brought up a couple of good points. Is like the DoD is so kind of ding dongedly backwards in the fact, in this respect, that they will build and spend millions of dollars on a really nice physical training facility and never let you
That
go
never
use it.
gets used. Yeah.
You had to always do that. And then the other guy brought up a point of like, hey, if you're a PT stud, and let's say you have 90%, your score is 270 or better, you should
Mhm.
be able to do individual PT. Go off, do what you
Absolutely.
want to do. If you want to do freaking cardio, if you want to go and do dang, hit the weights or something, like go have. I mean, you're obviously doing what you need to do to meet and surpass the standard. The standard is
Correct.
180 points on a
Yeah.
on the traditional APFT that we know and
Oh,
go
and
that
see,
we've known.
that's just ridiculous to me. Um, because at 180, I mean, I get that there are some people that are a little bit physically not able to do, but if if you can't do that kind
Spit
of
it out,
hard
dude.
labor, if you
Spit it
can't,
out.
well, I'm trying to be nice. If you can't, if you can't do the physical work, like,
This
dude,
is not PC squared. This is not the politically correct podcast. This is Battle
no,
Bros. Like, speak your piece, bro.
like, my God, the physical friggin' standards, okay, need to be at a level where, like, I'm sorry, if I'm gonna trust a fighting force to go out and defend my family, like the guys that defended like the guys that I served with, or the guys that you served with, I'm sorry, they need to be physically fit enough to be able to run down a hallway without running out of breath. I'm sorry. It's the it's the sad truth.
It is. So let me
And
ask you this question. Oh,
ah,
finish your thought, man. I'm finish your thought first.
no, it
My bad.
just I mean there's a lot of other things I would change. Like I'd
So let me
mhm,
before you change to your second topic, let me ask you this: what is your thought on the new how they've revamped the physical fitness? You now have the ACFT, the Army Combat Fitness
mhm,
Test, where you have like 6 different events and whatnot. You have to score like 90% on those is a 540. It's like pretty much 100% point scale for 6 events. So maxing out would be 600. So 90% for all of those would be 540. What do you think about that? It's a
what
bunch
are
of
the
different.
events?
I don't know. See, like everybody has like kind of. There's been a bunch of people that have talked about it and whatnot. I never looked it up as much, but it's supposedly going to be. Whether she's like, yeah, bullshit. I mean, I thought for a minute. So the new sergeant major of the army, Michael Weimer, who comes
Mhm.
from an SF background, apparently I thought he was just going to bring back the original like APFT, just push up, sit up, run.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, that's gonna pretty much do what you need to do. Now, if you're doing, like you'd have that, but if you also have like, you go and you have, other training you can do in addition to that for your specific skill set and
Yeah.
whatnot, maybe that's that. I don't know. I don't know
If
enough about that to say.
it's oriented towards your if it's oriented towards your towards your MOS, I mean, I guess sure. Like, I mean, there could be standardized stuff, the running the running what you call it is you're a soldier first. You are a rifleman first. You are your job second. Okay. You need
Well,
to
that
be
is
able to
that is
do
the Marine Corps thing, and I think the Army tried to kind of piggyback on that a little bit. So
yeah, but I still believe that. I still believe that. My
okay.
thing is, I'm sorry, you should be able to do a little more than the bare because I mean, I've spoken to truck drivers, I've spoken to mechanics, I've spoken to I mean, freaking door
these
gunners.
are all these are all soldiers.
These are all soldiers who
Okay.
have been in combat, have genuinely been fired upon. And the thing is when the schnitzel hits the fan, okay, when the shit hits the fan, I'm gonna say
Is
it.
our next conflict going to be in the Bavarian forest in Germany? We're going to get worried about the streusel hitting the
The
fan?
schnitzel.
The schnitzels? Pardon?
Schnitzel's actually really good too. It's like a fried steak. Their version of a country fried steak. It's delicious. But anyway, so
We got to go to that German place in Sanford, by the way. There's that little Bavarian restaurant right there on Main Street.
mhm,
Ooh,
it's very
go do
good.
that. Let's go do that.
Um,
We are going to do that.
but you should at least be able to do a little more than the bare minimum of your workload. Like it should be combat oriented. Sure, lift the do exercises that are in a way oriented in the sense that if you're going to be doing something that looks like it in combat, you need to be doing that as an exercise.
And I
Plain and
think you
simple.
bring up, another good point, and then we'll kind of transition to your next topic. Um, I think there's this really bad habit of people. There's this really bad habit where people are the maximum effort is making the minimum standard. As long as I, excuse me, as long as I get that 180 on my PT test, I'm good.
Mhm.
As long as I got, it's like that joke, Jeep, just enough experience to pass. It's like, come on, like take pride in your stuff, like
Yeah.
and that's why I always refer back to Kyle's interview talking about this the type of caliber of people that are in Ranger Regiment. Those guys all want to be there. They take their
Yeah.
job seriously. They're all a bunch of freaking studs. It's like, yeah, go do your
And I'm
stuff. But
sorry, dude, but if you don't look like I'm so if you don't look like fuck I try not to say it.
yeah, it's
If you
good.
don't if you don't look like okay, what
That's
I would
literally,
consider
dude. That's literally why I put a sticky note on my computer for that reason. That says that.
if you don't I'm sorry, if you need to be in looking like you're in fighting condition. If you don't at the bare minimum have a 4-pack on your freaking stomach, then there's a problem. If I see freaking a flaccid guppy walking around the freaking halls or a freaking the Pillsbury Doughboy looking at
Wait,
me
wait,
like,
wait,
"Hey,
wait, wait,
could I
wait.
have
Hold on,
another
hold on.
biscuit, Sergeant Major?" Yes.
Flaccid guppy. That's my new.
The guys that, they're real slim. They could probably run real good, but they walk around the halls like this because they got nothing. If you poke them,
Oh
they're
my
fluffy,
god.
but they're skinny.
You heard it here first, folks. Flaccid guppy.
No.
Outstanding.
You
No,
know the type
I
that I'm
agree.
talking about.
No, I
I-
get that. 'Cause I can say that because listen, I mean, I'll admit it, I was that guy. Like I always had trouble doing PT. I ended up having to stay, at the end of drills and do a PT test afterwards and stuff. And and I wasn't taking it seriously. Nothing I could change. If I could go back and do it again, I would take better care of myself just because you ingrain that in yourself at a younger time and stuff. Yeah, right. It's good to you just got this on the side. It's like it's just fantastic. It's so good. But but no, you're absolutely right. You should be able to do what's expected of you and a little bit more,
and a
in the
little
heat
bit
of the
more.
moment.
Yeah,
In the
absolutely, man.
heat of the moment, things happen, adrenaline kicks in, and that's when you see like moms lifting cars off of their kids and stuff because
Dude, the
adrenaline takes
human
in and
body is capable of so much more than people actually allow it to do.
right.
And you're completely 100%. You're 100% right about that. There are people that have lifted cars off of people. How many pounds does a car weigh? Right? Think
If it's
about
a
it.
lightweight car, maybe 1,800 pounds, a ton.
About 1,800 pounds still, but the normal person is not used to lifting that kind of weight. And if the normal person has enough adrenaline in their system, this is th- imagine what you could do if you actually pushed yourself.
Yeah.
Second thing, because if I could go on a tangent with this one.
Yeah,
Second thing.
yeah. Good catch. Good catch. What's your
Um,
second thing, bro? What's your second?
Second thing,
What's your second legacy point there, Sergeant Major Alamo?
we got to have better freaking mental decompression for our soldiers when they get back.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Freaking, it's not just, oh yeah, go have a good beer,
We're
man.
gonna we're gonna go. So we're
No,
gonna say
it's
we're gonna put you on a quell cycle and spin you right back up and put you right back in
exactly.
rotation.
No, it's you come home. All right, come here. Council session. Are you all right? Sure. You sure about that? I don't know. Yes, no, maybe so. What are you? I guess I'm not okay. Okay, yeah. So let's deal with the problem. What's the problem?
So I watched a really good interview. I think I sent you the link for it. It was an interview
Yar.
for like another podcast where they were interviewing the current regimental sergeant major for the 75th Ranger Regiment. I want to say the guy's name is, I think his last name is Johnson or something like that. Really down, salt to the earth, down to the earth, kind of guy. Like they talk
Yeah.
about. So when he was like, I think I want to say he was an E8 or something. he was one of the guys that helped to bring RASP online, because it used to be, remember, they had RIP and ROPE. They had indoctrination program, they had orientation, ranger orientation program. So now, if you, so basically, if you're, like a brand new, like from E1 to E4, O1, O2, you go to RASP 1, which is basically like how they do things in the Ranger Regiment. If you stay in regiment, anytime you get promoted, you go back and you go to RASP 2, which is a like a refresher course. So as you're moving up through the ranks, you're starting off and you're a squad leader, you're E6, now you're a platoon sergeant, go back to RASP 2. You make first sergeant, go back to RASP 2, make sergeant major for the battalion. Then you go back as a regimental sergeant major. You're going to go back to RASP 2 every single time. And it's just to kind of keep you up to snuff. But what was really fascinating and interesting about how they do things is they have the right kind of support personnel. So they bring up and they're talking to psychologists, they're talking to mental health experts, kinesiologists, like, okay, what's going on in your body? Let's bring you offline right now. Let's get you fixed. Let's get you healthy. Let's get you better. And then we'll put you back into the situation and get you to drive on and, lead from the front, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, man, that's fantastic. I'm going to find that link. And if you don't have it, I'll send it to you. Like it's only about an hour, but like, dude, it's some motivating shit. Like it's awesome. It's really
Heck yeah. Yeah, no, and see, that's the thing is like our guys and boys and gals, you went, especially if you saw something when you were over there, you saw something, you felt something. You got to talk about it. Okay. That's what this show is all about. Especially if we as soldiers, military members, doesn't matter what branch, go through something, we need to know, we need to be able to talk about these things, not just with our buddies, but we need to be able to just kind of just brain dump it, just and just drop it all. And honestly, freaking, be able to just let loose some of that, aggression, pain, all of that. Because
emotion,
the better we manage it now, the less it will affect us later. I mean, yeah, you'll have moments, but the better we deal with it, especially like, because some guys stay in for years and they deal with it and whatever. The better we deal with the guys coming back when they come back, the better off they will be. Like learning how to help the guys decompress so that they can decompress when they get out.
Well, not just decompress, but decompress in a constructive, healthy way.
Correct.
Not just, because like the first, I remember when we got back, we demobbed out of Fort Stewart or whatever it's called now. I don't know. But
Stewart?
yeah, they changed the name of it. I don't know what the hell it is now. But anyway, they were like, nobody's going out the first night. We're not going to get wasted and all that stuff, because guys go and they're gone for 9 months, 12 months, 15 months, sometimes 18, depending on what time, but what period of the GWAT it was.
They want to drink.
They want to come back and they want to drink and they want to hit it hard. Like they never missed a beat. And it's like, you have, more than likely not had alcohol in a very extended period of time. And you just can't jump back into it like you're putting on an old pair of pants that you finally fit into again. Like it doesn't work like that. So,
correct.
Yeah, I totally get it. Having better health standards and stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah, and honestly, bring back better high stress training. I'm sorry. You signed up for a certain job. You signed up to be in a certain MOS. You need high stress training. And if you think you don't need high stress training to deal with what you're going to, you will literally fail and you will get others killed.
I mean, look at the Ranger battalions. I mean, those guys are doing live fires all the freaking time, man. It's like they're out there and they're training hard. Like they're going through shoot houses with live rounds.
If I was a sergeant major and it's like stress card, I'm gonna look at it and be like, ha, now what?
You're gonna do one of these. Hold on, and it's gonna be pink like this too. Let me see your stress card. This is right here. Cool. Next.
Yeah. Sorry,
That
you
felt
need to
good.
learn how to deal with it.
That felt good. I just ripped up an imaginary stress card, and I feel better already.
Damn right, Withers.
Yeah, legit. All right, so you're advocating. So the thing that Sergeant Major Alamo is going to advocate for is enforcing the physical fitness standards and probably even kind of cracking down and making them harder.
Damn
And
right.
then also championing for better mental health advocacy and help and stress prevention. Okay. All
Damn right.
right, cool. Well, those are good things to definitely kind of keep going. So
Hell yes.
it's my turn now, isn't it?
It is your turn.
All right. So if Mac, it's weird to talk about myself in the third person. If Mac was Sergeant Major of the Army, no, not really. The first thing that we're going to talk about is, listen, folks, it's 2024. It's time to let dudes have beards. All right. Listen, if Publix can do it, the Army
Yes.
can do it. Publix just let guys employees start having facial hair. Okay.
As long as it's
And
manageable and neat.
yes, as long as it is groomed, there is a uniform regulation standard in 670-1. I mean, so like it was interesting because I remember being over in Afghan and like other countries, like I think it was Norway or something. Like, so if you make corporal, you can have a mustache. If you make sergeant, you can have like a beard, and it's like, and okay, so for those of you that might not have been in the
I
military,
bet
the
some of those
biggest
stachios were epic.
Oh, I mean, these guys look like Vikings, just ginger and beautiful. I'm just like, that's a sexy looking man right there. Holy shit! Like, yeah, you could be Leif Erikson's grandchild or some stuff. It's all red. Yeah, I'm all about it. But I'm getting pumped now, man. Yeah, this is what I missed the last 9 months of not doing this. No, but so and so for the folks that don't know, the biggest argument that people make is, well, if you have a beard, you can't properly seal your gas mask. Wrong, not so much.
Yeah, you can still
Because
see the
listen,
gas mask.
the biggest argument, the biggest bit of conjecture I'll have to that is the fact that look at firemen. Firemen have to wear an SCBA, a self-contained breathing apparatus. So they're wearing that with their helmet and all that kind of stuff. And like they'll have a mustache and it might go down to the corner of the jawline and stuff. Some of those guys have beards and whatnot. I mean, the other reason I say that is there's a lot of folks walking around with a dang shaving profile anyway.
Yeah.
So let's just
And by the way, that reg was put into place back when the Doughboys were over in freaking Verdun and the what was it, the Psalm and all that other crap, man. Like we're talking about World War I standards. Like back then, because it wasn't like made of rubber, it didn't seal like great, and that's why they did it. Now with the materials that we have,
I mean, they don't even use the same pro mask when we were in. They got this really high speed looking thing. I'm like, damn, that thing looks badass. Like, holy crap. Like, it looks dope. You got the thing in the middle, so you don't have to worry about having the canister on either side. It's right here, so you can still shoulder your rifle either which way. Like,
that makes a huge difference too.
It's like that's pretty damn dope, man. Like, hell yeah. So I just think, and listen, especially
speaking of the mask, did you ever have to like switch the ring to be able to put the buttstock up to the right up to your face?
I had to always turn my stuff around because I'm left-handed, so I had to always switch it over and wear the carrier on the other side and all this.
I was the only guy in the platoon that got a lefty mask, and I had to take the rings out of the freaking mask and switch them over so I could freaking be able to put my freaking shit on properly.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, it's like, listen, like, and especially like there is a unit in the British military, where instead of like when they're like on parade, they walk around with like axes and like they have a rank of frontier sergeant. I'm like, that's badass as hell. Like, yeah, the dude's wearing a beret, he's got a nice looking beard, he's in his dress uniform. I'm like, I've never wanted to have tea and crumpets before, but damn, I really want that now. Like, let's do this.
I heard their cooking is
listen.
not that great. No offense to any of our any British listeners if we have them out there, but yeah, I heard their food's not
All
great.
one of you, but hey, I
Yeah.
like watching those videos where like they take Americanized food, like American biscuits, and they take them over there and they put like waffles and pancakes and stuff, and the people are like, oh, it's
What the
absolutely
bloody hell is
brilliant.
that? It's a chicken and waffles. Who
That's not
puts a
cooking.
chicken with
That's not a
waffles?
biscuit. A biscuit is harder. This is and they're like they have it from like KFC. Like it's so soft and fluffy. It's like eating a cloud. Great, brilliant. Like all this,
It's
the
absolutely
it's,
delicious, mate.
it's so good. And they drink Coca-Cola and like sweet tea from
Yep.
the South. They're just like, what? Yeah, like, yeah, buddy. Absolutely.
You know why?
So I
Because
mean,
America.
listen, America, undefeated World War champs. Anyway, sorry for all the Brits over there. We love you guys.
Damn right.
But yeah, I'm sorry. It's 2024 with all the other weird things that are going on. And I say weird because it's just like from when I grew up. It's like, okay, I filled out a survey recently, and it was for I think it was like it was a survey for because I'm a member of the IAVA, which is the Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of Association. Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America, excuse me. And they were like, what is your gender? And like the fact that they had to list like it used to be male, female, prefer not to say, and now there's like 6 options there. I'm just like,
No.
come on. And I'm like, and
No.
we're not going to get into that because that's a whole nother conversation. But I'm just like, come on, really?
It is. Yeah.
It's like, so you can go through all that, but we can't have beards. I'm like, I'm going to say no. So yeah, beards, and I would love to see like a platoon of Rangers coming down the street. They've all got like nice looking beards and stuff. Tan beret with the pinks and greens and the brown jump boots.
like a Matt Best beard.
I just got a war chubby. Anyway, so here's my second point.
Is my man crush.
Is he your hall pass? Yeah.
I hope he hears this one day.
Oh my god! So you remember when we had Greg on the show? You remember when we had Greg on the show? Greg actually met him. Greg and his wife met Matt Best. Like, oh, so you guys are the hot couple here, and he's just like, he's got pictures he showed me. I'm like, no kidding.
Oh, did he really?
So, yeah, he met Matt Best. It was awesome. It was at some kind of like I think it was something up near near Bragg and stuff. So, okay, this might be a little bit controversial, but I need to open up a page. I need to share it with you guys. So let me do that. So for those of you that don't know, all right, so let me go back to this. I'm going to present. I'm going to share screen.
Indeed.
I'm going to do it. So the thing that I want to bring back is I want to bring back the dual rank structure. So if for anybody that doesn't know, the reason why specialist is called spec 4, number one, it is the E4 pay grade level. Okay. But also for the fact that it used to go and there used to be a separate rank structure from specialist 4 to specialist 9. So you can see how it goes, 4 being on the left if you're looking at the screen here. 4 is on the left, and then so like as for like the traditional Army ranks, like private, corporal, sergeant, they had chevrons going boom, 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 going up. So what this one does is because the sham shield is round on the top, they take the chevrons and they stack those on top first. So you would one chevron on top would be spec 5, spec 6, spec 7, and then you have the chevrons on the bottom. So if you have 3 up, 2 down, that's actually specialist 9. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the reason why I say that needs to happen. Okay. I'm probably not alone when I say that everybody has had a leader or somebody in their non-commissioned officer support channel, supervisory channel, whatever, that is terrible at their job. They're a terrible leader. Now, don't get me wrong, they're a bad leader.
Nice.
Doesn't mean that they're bad at their job, okay?
Right.
Like medics, a lot of time. Like there's medics, I think there was actually a guy who was a specialist 6 who actually was awarded the Medal of Honor by Nixon. There's a picture of that on the Wikipedia page or something. But like, depending on the job you're doing, you don't need to have an admin guy being a sergeant major. There's just no need for it. It's an admin clerk, okay? So, leadership roles, all that stuff. Now, should they still have the same privileges as guys that are, E9s as well? Yeah, absolutely. You should have, Spec 8, Spec 9 parking like you do for first sergeants, sergeant majors, and battalion sergeant majors, all that kind of stuff. I would even
Being
go
a
one
specialist
further.
means you specialize.
Exactly.
Literally.
You should like intelligence. If you're in any type of intelligence, I just kicked my desk. Whoops. If you're in any type of intelligence field, like an intelligence analyst or something, this would be a great opportunity to do that kind of stuff. You can have these guys still go out to the field and do field stuff, but they don't necessarily need to be an intelligence sergeant major. You don't need to have an intelligence master sergeant, all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
I just think this would be, you have some guys that don't want to be leaders or don't want to be non-commissioned officers, but they still want to have the opportunity to go up through the ranks and go up to grow, to go and get promoted and move on to bigger and better things. Let me stop sharing that now. They should have the opportunity to be able to do that. I just think that would be smart. I mean, it makes a lot of sense to me because they have a lot of guys now that I think within the last couple of years, they have it where they're kind of front loading more spec fours and laterally transferring them to being corporals. Now, depending on your MOS, like infantry, we don't have a lot of corporals. The lowest NCO rank is an E5, is a buck sergeant. That's going to be your team leader. In the military police field, correct me if I'm wrong, Alamo, but you guys have corporals in the MP field. You have guys that are. Yeah, so it just kind of depends on the MOS and whatnot. But like certain jobs, if you're working at the the S1 office or something, you don't necessarily need to be the sergeant major. Okay, you can still have even if you have a bunch of specialists there because you're the senior specialist, like Spec 7 or whatnot, you could still be able to do the kind of functions and administrative duties as an E7 that's a sergeant first class. You can still be able to be like the platoon leader or the platoon sergeant or the platoon guide or whatever you want to call it, in that kind of billet. I just think, you can still let guys get promoted, come up through the ranks as they want, but they don't necessarily want to be leaders. And like, you don't need to have a sergeant major working in the motor pool. Who cares? That's not important. But like, the reason I thought about this, I was looking up the history of it one day, but also the fact too is, so in the Marine Corps, once you hit gunnery sergeant, you hit E7, you have to make a choice. You either go first sergeant, sergeant major, or you go master sergeant, master gunnery sergeant. And the first sergeant, sergeant major route is going to be more for leadership in like a company. You're going to be a company first sergeant, you're going to be the battalion sergeant major, that kind of stuff. Whereas the other guys, master sergeant and then master guns, they're going to be like the experts and the knowledgeable guys that are subject matter experts in their field. Whether it's infantry, whether it's force reconnaissance, whatever the heck it looks like. So I just think that would make a lot more sense to not have these guys, going and trying to be a first sergeant or a master sergeant. If you want to go find a job, or you can just be a specialist and move all the way up, 4 through 9. And then further, and I just thought of this too, if we're going to do that, we should also bring back having the separate clubs. So like on base, you used to have the O club, you had the NCO club, you had the E club. Well, during the Clinton administration, it became the all ranks club. And it's like, no, because you want to go with guys in your like kind of thing. And it's like, okay, if you're in E1, E2, E3, you should go to the E club. If you want to go to, we have the NCO club, and then we have the dojo for all the sham shield samurais and stuff. So we can call it that.
Inclusivity starts with you.
Yeah, because like, listen, if you want to be able to go somewhere and have a beer after work and be able to bitch and moan and complain about something at your job. You don't want to have those guys like right here, like, oh, look, tell me, how do you feel about
That's
me?
how you feel, huh? Well, we'll see how you feel in PT tomorrow, huh?
Yeah,
Huh? Huh?
exactly. You should have those. You should have the ability to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Officers should have their own club, all that kind of stuff. Yes, exactly. Bring back the NCO club. Exactly. I mean, they still do that on Navy boats. They have the Chiefs. They have the Chiefs mess, the goat locker, where it's all E7 and up. It's segregated away from everybody else. It's because you put on the khaki uniform and you're able to do all that kind of stuff. So why can't we do that? That would be my two big legacy points.
Yar.
Beards. Bring back the specialist promotion track for sure.
Yar.
My name's Mac, and I approve this message. I didn't know what else to say. I'm like,
He's
So-
a great American, folks. Great American. Mac D or D Mac, however you want to call him. Don't underestimate him, folks. Great American. Tremendous, tremendous American.
oh, so good.
Ah, lovely.
Anyway,
Fantastic.
so that's our conversation for tonight. So we're gonna start
Yeah.
wrapping this up. But
Let's do
again,
it.
as we were talking about, folks, we want to thank you for getting back with us. If you're checking us out for the first time, we appreciate you stopping by, checking us out. If you would like, you're more than welcome to go on YouTube or Spotify, anywhere else where you can find our podcast, the Battle Bros Podcast, and you can listen to
The
and
feces.
or watch. Hush. Shut up, let me talk, dang it. Anyway, you can go back and you can watch some of our previous episodes. We've had some really good interviews. We're going to hopefully have some more of those for this season as well. Some former discussion talking points that we've had. We're not afraid to get to the nitty gritty, hard conversation topics, talking about, suicide and other things. So, we need to bring up these kind of things because it doesn't do any good. Doesn't do any good if we don't talk about it. So, but anyway, so as we wrap up, we're going to kind of talk about, for the folks that haven't been here before, this show got started. Alamo and I used to work together in retail in the firearms business, and we had a guy that worked with us named John. John was a funny damn dude, just hilarious, great dude to work with. We kind of fell out of touch with John, and then Alamo was talking about maybe doing a podcast, and then we found out during John's birthday or something. I found out on Facebook that John unfortunately chose to solve a temporary problem with a permanent solution and commit suicide. So that was kind of like a rallying cry and kind of like the catalyst of what you see now. This is why we do this. And we felt, like we said, we fell out of touch. Alamo has unfortunately had like, I think 5 or 6 guys now that that have unfortunately gone that route.
Unfortunately,
So this is something that's very near and dear to us. We take it very seriously. This is why we were really upset and bummed that we had to take an extended leave from this. It was good at first because we needed to take the time off because we kind of were we were kind of spent and we needed to refresh a little bit. But then it was like, okay, I want to get back to this now. I can't. So crap. So. But as I was saying, we talked about doing this, and then when we found out about John, I called Alamo. I was like, dude, I'm in. Like, let's freaking do this. Like, absolutely. So we were talking about doing the show, talking about building the brand, and in the process of this show, we came up with the Bros Code. So it's pretty much
code.
Oh, by the way, did you get that other one that I sent you for Amelia's website? The text message I sent you?
No, I didn't. That's okay. We could always put it next episode.
Anyway,
Yeah.
So the Bros Code is basically 4 things you can do to remember, just to help you remember to keep your head on a swivel, keep yourself in the fight. Just remember that there's options. Okay, so the easiest way to remember is just remember the letters BROS, Bros. Okay, The first one being be tenacious. No matter what happens in life, go do it to the fullest of your ability. Like we were talking about earlier, I made the comment about how a lot of guys think their maximum effort should be the maximum effort should be that to meet the minimum standard. False, incorrect, false information. That's garbage. That's absolute trash. Whatever
How's
you
it go
do,
again? Don't half-ass anything, whole-ass one thing.
don't half-ass anything, whole-ass one thing. That's right. Thank you, Ron Swanson, for your expert wisdom and tutelage. But yeah, it's the truth. Don't do that. Like, just go out there and do it the best you ability. Heaven forbid Rangers went out there and said, "Oh, I did the minimum. I did 30 push-ups. I'm good." No, those are some guys. Those are some hard chargers. You want those guys going out there and murking dudes that are going to harm our country. So like
Damn right.
go smoke check some assholes and go be awesome at what you do. So be tenacious. No matter what you do it to the fullest of your ability. Refuse to surrender. There's going to be times in life where things got you down. Like we were on here before the show started, and Alamo was having some issues with some technical stuff, and he's like, "Come on, man!" And he was dropping some words that I can't repeat on here, and it's like I'm like, "Hey, bro, refuse to surrender." He's like, "Yeah, you're right. My bad." So, but yeah, things aren't going to go your way. They're not going to go as planned. That's why you have your PACE plan: primary, alternate, contingency, emergency. You have backups in place for that reason. You have redundancies. Don't let those things get you down and drag your dick in the dirt and all that kind of stuff. Okay, get up, brush yourself off, and go from there. Obliterate your obstacles. Like I was just talking about, things happen where you have to kind of go an alternate path. You have to, instead of going straight across the field, you have to go and skirt the outside of the clearing so that you're not detected. Sometimes you have to breach a wall by using some Bangalores and C4. Sometimes you do what this guy did and back a striker into it and go, "Whoops, my bad, my fault, excuse me." But yeah, no matter what happens, don't let the obstacles stop you from accomplishing your mission, your objective. Hit that X, hit the OBJ, keep going. S, seek out help in a time of need. Like we talk about every time with John, there's nothing we wouldn't give to have John still here with us, to have John, be able to come on. I would love to have John on here and talk about his time in the military, and unfortunately we can't do that. But if you ever like Alamo talked about with the mental health stuff, like if you get to that point of not feeling right, talk to somebody. This guy knows he can call me. I've called him. He's called me at all hours of the night and just been like, "Dude, I need to talk. I got something on my mind and I need to get off my chest. And I'm not in a great place." All right, dude, let's talk. Let's hash it out. And if more people had the ability to do that, we would have a lot less of this where you see 22 veterans a day on average committing suicide. Hopefully that number has gone down and that's out of date, but we're just going to say it's current.
Hopefully.
But and like we used to talk about all the time, we're going to keep talking about it. This show is not always about you, the viewer. Sometimes it's about you watching the show so you can pass it along and be like, "Hey guys,
who needs
I was wondering why I ended up watching this, but it sounds like you need to watch it more." And there's these guys there's the one guy, he's good looking, the other guy, he's got a big ass head and he's kind of scary to children and stuff, but they talk about some really cool stuff that's kind of important, and things that need to be said and all that kind of stuff. So you should give it a listen. It's not always about you, it's about paying it forward and passing it along. So if you can do that, by all means do so. If you ever get into a spot where you feel like there's no way out, just remember there's some phone numbers you can call. There's Suicide Prevention Hotline. They now have a 3-digit prefix. It's 988. Again, that's 988, and I think that's cool. They did that partially so you could also text, like if you're on like a smartphone or whatnot, which everybody's got a dang smartphone nowadays.
Yeah.
But they also have the 800 number, which is 1-800-273-8255. Again, 1-800-273-8255, or just remember the word talk, 1-800-273-8255. 273-TALK, Tango, Alpha, Lima, Kilo. They have somebody on call 24/7. If you need to talk to somebody, they'll get you some help. Um, we don't need more people going down that bad path and trying to
That's right.
solve a temporary problem with a permanent solution. That's never the way out. So if you guys can, remember that those numbers are there for you. There are resources for, folks, whether it's military, first responders, you name it. There's resources out there for anybody. Just remember that kind of stuff, and just remember that we're not in it alone. It takes the whole tribe to make this happen. So just remember that stuff, pass it along, and let's help everybody out. So I'm going to pass it off to Alamo. He's going to wrap it up.
Yar. So, if you would like to catch us over on the social medias, we have plenty of places where you could go ahead and do that. One of them being the Facebook. If you go to facebook.com/battlebros.podcast, you can find us over there. Give us a follow, give us a like. Go ahead and throw some comments in there, and maybe some posts or whatever. Send us some messages via Facebook Messenger as well. We're always watching for messages for those that are in need, that need help, especially our brethren over there in law enforcement as well, maybe FD. If you got it doesn't matter if you have served in any capacity, we're here for you. It doesn't matter what capacity that is. And we try to cater to a broad spectrum of people. Also, you can find us over on the Instagram, where you can also instant message us there at @BattleBros_podcast. You can also find us on the InstaTwit, or AKA, formerly InstaTwit, now X, at
Is it really called
Bros PC?
It's called X now, right? Oh, that's right.
It is
Elon
called
Musk
X.
bought that,
Yeah. God bless Elon Musk. Also, if you find yourself looking for an alternate form of streaming or other or just video watching, you can find us over there at rumble.com. Just search Battle Bros, all one word, and you will find us there as well.
I forgot how many dang platforms we're on, dude. It's like, geez.
Yeah, we're on a few.
It's like a lot of
Also, you can catch us on just Spotify now. It's actually just Spotify. It's no longer Anchor. It's Anchor for podcasters. Spotify for podcasters. By the way, thank you, Spotify, for allowing us to do this. This is something that we have, turned into a big passion project, and we love you guys for having this little dilly dally for us to be able to upload stuff and kind of just be like, hey, boom, there you go.
Like, to be 100% transparent for the folks that don't know, like, Alamo approached me about doing a podcast. I'm like, dude, I don't know if we can do that. And he's like, how hard can it be, man? They sent a monkey to outer space. I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty true. It's like, that can't be too hard. I mean, we are a couple of knuckle dragging bastards, but hey, it is what it is. So.
And last but not least, but I would say most importantly, if you really just kind of want to put a message to us and you want to talk to us kind of like offline, where you could see us, or I should say where you can just talk to us and say, hey, you know what, guys, I'm not feeling very good. I'm feeling like this. Send us a message over at our Gmail. We're always watching our Gmail. We're always looking for guys that possibly need help, or gals. If obviously, we have some of our female brethren in both, Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, all that good stuff. Hey, everybody's gone through something, man. Everybody's got some trauma. Everybody's got something that they've gone through. Send us a message on our Gmail where we can, kind of just read it in private and address you guys that way and talk to you. This endeavor, I would say, is all about trying to make sure that, trying to make sure that
I didn't mean to derail you. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Trying to make sure that we watch out for all of our peeps. we have each other's backs no matter what. It doesn't matter branch. It doesn't matter branch. We are there for each other, and we're going to continue to be there for each other, and it's going to be that way. I feel basically till the day I die. So, like I said, reach out, man. It's always important to reach out. Other than that, I am done.
All right, cool. So again, to everybody that joined us tonight, or everybody that's watching, thank you for stopping by and checking out our season 4 premiere, episode 067, called "What If."
God, season 4. Gee.
I know, season 4 in 2024. It's like, dude.
Yeah.
We appreciate everybody stopping by. Remember, it's not always about you; it's about passing it along and paying it forward to
That's
somebody
right.
that needs to hear the message. We greatly appreciate all the interaction. Thank you, Withers, for the commentary on the side there. Good stuff. We appreciate that. But yeah, we're gonna, like I said, we're getting back in the swing of things. We're gonna go back to doing this every night, every Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2100 hours. Next week's episode is 068, and we are going to be talking about the topic of compromise. So be sure to check that out. That's going to be a good one. Sometimes we have some fun interviews. Sometimes we have some really serious heart-to-heart talks. You never know what you're
Or
going to get.
sometimes we have the president speaking for us. Make sure you go check out the Battle Bros. Fantastic Americans, great podcast. I listen to them all the time.
Is there any way we can get you say that? Picture him with your lips moving over his mouth and just doing it. Oh my gosh,
God,
that would be
hilarious. I'm gonna
you
do
could
it.
record it. You could record it and then just have AI do the filming of it or whatnot.
Yeah,
That's scary. That's so scary, man. Yeah, that could just be our intro from now on. We'll just do that instead of the countdown. Watch the Battle Bros. They're tremendous, tremendous people.
Make sure you check out the Battle Bros. They're tremendous, absolutely wonderful Americans.
Just think about all the people that are listening to
Fantastic.
this going, when the hell did President Trump get on here? Like, seriously?
Wonderful people. Let me tell you.
All right. Like I was saying, folks, next week, Friday the 16th, 2100 hours, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is going to be episode 068. We're going to be talking about the subject of compromise. We look forward to seeing you guys there. But just remember, until then, be tenacious, refuse to surrender, obliterate your obstacles, seek out help in a time of need. If you can remember those 4 tenets of the Bros Code, I promise you things are going to be starting to look up. I promise you. So
That's right.
until then, we thank you for stopping by. This has been the Battle Bros podcast with Mac and Alamo. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we will see you down the road next week. So until then, you stay classy out there, everybody.
Battle Bros out.